Hey guys, Jay-Sensei here again. This is what if Luffy could copy devil fruits. Now, if you guys don't keep up with like One Piece and like all forms of media like I do, because I'm a big One Piece fan, there's basically, well, this is kind of rude. This is kind of rude way I said it. Not that other people aren't big fans. I am an addict, and I have nothing else to do besides research. There's a fruit called the Kopi no Mi in a live action play, and is the chameleon fruit. But no, it doesn't copy appearances or copy the background, anything like that. No, it copies devil fruits. And this is the first devil fruit in my series of the I'm just going to be labeling. These are going to be off my head, all off the top of my head, like my usual videos. And basically, I'll be doing like what if Luffy had. This is basically what if Luffy had two devil fruits, and this is going to be a series of just different videos in this part. I'll add them all onto a playlist gradually, but this is going to be the first one. The next one is basically what if Luffy had the gold fruit, or like the gold fruit. If you guys have seen film Gold, he's gonna have Gold Tesoro's fruit. So yeah. Then after that, it'd be the liquid metal fruit. Those are the next two videos: liquid metal Luffy and gold Luffy. And come on, he will still have the Hito no Mi like usual. So Luffy will. He gets the Hito no Mi in the 2 weeks he spends chasing the Hito no Mi. He gets the Kopi no Mi while he's actually chasing Ace. Because he gets chasing Ace for 2 weeks, gets lost every single day. And eventually, when one of the days he got lost, he had actually, he found a devil fruit. Luffy recognized it as a devil fruit, there's no other fruit around, and he's starving. Luffy doesn't know that you would die if you ate one, but he took a bite out of it, and immediately, he began kind of just shape-shifting. Or, not shape-shifting, or, yes, he would actually. As I perform, he gets a longer tongue, how the top of the head seems be a bit more chameleon-like, and he grows a tail. This confuses him a bit, and he just spends the whole 2 weeks in the forest learning how to use devil fruit, or at least how to transform in and out of his devil fruit ability. Don't know the man's word for Luffy, but they're not old enough to look for him. But eventually he had returned, and when he returned, he had tons of animals with him. Dead animals, of course. He killed them for the bandits. As he was he says, I got lost and I ate another devil fruit. He confused everyone else saying, wait, you ate another devil fruit? Right, saying, I think this one turns me into a chameleon. He then turned into a chameleon, just began crawling around. It shocked everyone. Then he went into his hybrid form and took out his tongue so fast that it destroyed a whole tree. And everyone was just amazed at this. Both this, Luffy would decide to actually keep up with Ace as in his hybrid form. He did chase Ace, and Ace realized that Luffy was actually keeping pace with him pretty easily. As Luffy's actually grows a lot in size. Like Kid Luffy is like 2 feet tall. In chameleon form, he grows to be like in his full chameleon form, he grows to be like 6 foot, and then in his hybrid form, he's like 4 feet. So he grows extremely big in his chameleon form. He's actually able to keep pace with Ace, even outspeed him. But Ace did think it was really fun, as he actually helped Luffy experiment with the devil fruit abilities, including his Gomu abilities. Also, his tongue has a longer reach than like a regular chameleon. Hold up. Alright, so using just what Oda says about how far Luffy can stretch, but also just estimating how far chameleons can stretch their tongue. Luffy's tongue can stretch roughly about 15 feet, and Luffy's arms, I believe in Whole Cake Island, can stretch a little over 39 feet, a little over that. Well, Luffy having been able to actually train by stretching his tongue a lot more and actually knowing how that would function, but then using his arms similarly, his arms are actually able to stretch a bit farther than the usual as a kid, as he actually has like attack on everything. Well, actually leads to him developing a Gomu no pistol, but built it for his tongue first, but actually able to use it for his hand eventually later on. But we do go into basically Luffy when he was to be taken by Unpochemi. But Luffy immediately, as soon as Pochemi grabbed him, Luffy just yelled, he yelled, Kopi no Shibari. Or, is that the right name? Let me check this real quick. I should memorize a lot of techniques, but I'm not confident in this one. Right. I'm just saying it in English, right? He just says, Kopi no Mi, tongue punch. With this, he nails Pochemi basically just right in the jaw from like a weird angle. Like, you know how Stickman Luffy's arms just bend and nail someone like right in the jaw from like a different direction. Like they can just perceive everyone's perception of time, how they move. It's kind of like Luffy's tongue can do, but it's a bit more painful to do that for him because there's no hockey involved. It's just a really flexible tongue. nailed Portemi right in the jaw so hard that Portemi sent into a full 360 and knocked out. They landed going into a full chameleon, and like so before, in his full form, he's a 6-foot chameleon. Like he's like 6'6" in his chameleon form. And this is actually terrifying to the bandits, as Ace and Sabo think it's cool. And Luffy began chasing around Blue Gem's whole crew as he even chased them back to their ship. Blue Gem saw what that was and just immediately freaked out, trying to pull out a gun. But Luffy tongue punched him too. Then they wrapped his tongue around their ship and just picked it up and slammed it on the ground, completely destroying it. Then proceeded to rampage out on Blue Gem's whole crew. And he's done, he reverted back to being a little kid and walked away. And Nagari and everyone else had watched Luffy do this and immediately decided that he should not be messed with. And Blue Gem crew never tried to mess with Luffy ever again. They learned their lesson, and they're terrified of him now. But eventually, they decided to actually break their original thought process about not messing with Luffy ever again, when Sabo's dad offered them money. Sabo's dad offered them enough money to basically, get Luffy and hold down Ace and Luffy, while he actually gets Sabo. And they agreed to this, but they do tell him that he should worry about Luffy. This is actually make him say, why should I worry about some random boy? They say, oh, he's a devil fruit user, or pretty sure it's called a devil fruit. Sabo's dad didn't really want to hear what they were saying those things don't exist. Pirates, you really are dumb. But then as soon as we go into the next few days later, where they're holding down Luffy and Ace while Sabo's leaving his dad, he just smirked, and he then just yelled to Sabo and Ace, duck. He did, as Luffy then yelled, Kopi Kopi no Mi, tongue barrage. That his tongue shot out, yelling basically anyone around him in the chest that was an enemy. Then once he was released, he then yelled, Gomu Gomu no whip. And so swung his leg around, nailing everyone right in the neck, and flinging them all in the air. I was wondering what this is, until Luffy ran at him, grabbing him by the face, in his hybrid form, and then throwing him straight through the Goa Kingdom, like, through the kingdom. Not through the gate, no, through the gate, through the kingdom. His dad is completely just broken bones and everything. Like, he threw him right in front of his wife and his son, Stelly. And then they never tried to solve it back after that, and the Blue Gem's crew just decides to leave. So, yeah. When it comes to Great Terminal Fire, when they tried to start that, it didn't work out too well. Like, literally a resident found a guard and stabbed the guard to death for trying to do it. So the Suster Dragon is displaced with Gold Kingdom, then leaves, and never comes back. The Gold Kingdom is now viewed as very scummy to basically just the world nobles and world government. Garp also knows about Luffy's two devil fruits, but doesn't tell the government about them, as Luffy does say that he's a chameleon, but he doesn't know what he can do like a chameleon. Garp does actually think about this for a bit, but one person he actually tells to Sengoku, asking Goku to actually not tell the world government, because he's worried for his grandson's safety already, for the devil fruit he has right now. So Goku doesn't understand this, but tells Garp what he could guess is that he may be able to copy devil fruits. There was a prisoner in Impel Down who had a very similar fruit. So this is canonical, at least on the wiki page for this character. He used to be on Whitebeard's crew and was a former prisoner of Impel Down. They have notes on who this guy is. He died in prison, and his fruit got reincarnated, but they didn't know what it was. The person didn't know what it was. They thought it was a bad fruit, they threw it out to sea. So Sea King ate it, Sea King threw it up, Shanks found it, Shanks kept it, and then eventually Shanks got rid of it by just honestly forgetting about it. Then eventually an animal brought it into the forest, that animal kept the fruit in the forest, and now Luffy then ate it, and then 2 weeks. So indirectly, Shanks gave Luffy the fruit, but so did this random Impel Down guard. Let's say it was Hannibal, because Hannibal's the biggest screw-up we'd ever meet. So Hannibal indirectly gave Luffy his devil fruits. But yeah. So, Sengoku pulled up his Muslim prisoner, saying that this prisoner copied devil fruits. It didn't take a lot of focus, but that's what he did. And Garp eventually did tell Luffy what this fruit did, and everyone was shocked. As Luffy like, there's more devil fruit users than me? Garp's like, there's hundreds. Maybe even thousands. Who knows? Luffy and Garp would actually teach Luffy how to basically just concentrate on how to copy things too. So yeah. And honestly, just to make Luffy a bit more broken, and because the devil fruit isn't as fleshed out as it could be, because it's from a one-time live-action play that probably will never happen again. I mean, this gives fruit one more ability, being it can camouflage, but like copy devil fruits, he would need to meditate. Not meditate, but just focus really hard. And it needs around 5 seconds of main focus, which makes Luffy has to always have a hand on whatever he wants to blend into, or whoever wants to copy. Imagine he fights Kaido or Big Mom. So the fleshed out version of this copying ability, I'm pretty sure it copies basically anyone whose current skill level it has, unless they're an awakened user. Like Kaido, I'm pretty sure his fruit is just basically just dragon. There's an awakening, but Kaido probably is using it currently. Like I'd assume maybe Boral Breath is his awakening, is one of his awakened abilities, and then that's why Momonosuke can't do it. But like Storm Clouds would be a basic thing for Kaido. I think that's would be one of his basic abilities is Storm Clouds. And then Big Mom, I guess her fruit, I guarantee you it's awakened. So yeah. Or it may not be, because I'd assume an awakening for her fruit will allow her to take out souls without needing people to fear her. So, yeah. So, I'd assume, actually, how long we once had her fruit and how strong she is. It's awakened, but I don't think she used her awakening abilities properly. That's how I would view Big Mom's fruit. She's awakened, but doesn't use her fruit properly. Yeah. But Ace Sabaody realized that Luffy's copy ability or camouflage ability is pretty handy, so they use Luffy to really steal a lot. And Luffy's currently a really good thief. So yeah. So because Luffy's Dolphin makes him grow extraordinarily large, Luffy's fruit kind of all around gave him just basically different, kind of advanced physical strength, speed. Honestly, his height, his height, his speed, his strength, his durability, like basically. Every single one of his stats is enhanced to the point where his height is roughly very similar to Frankie. So Luffy's just big. Also, with how much he stole, because Ace and Sabaody encouraged him to steal for food. Luffy also did it for like money because they didn't have ships to set sail with. Sabaody set sail for the revolutionaries, or set to be a pirate but found the revolutionaries. Luffy had enough money to basically buy them all individual ships that can fit at least 3 people. So yeah. Plus, these merchant ships have a lot of good things on them, and Luffy can just steal what they have and sell them back whenever they come back. So yeah. But with this, Luffy set sail, and he first was heading to Shell Town, but then he had found Alvida's crew, Alvida's ship, and jumped on board immediately as they just summoned Luffy aboard, like saying, "Hey, Brat, give us all your booze, everything." Because Luffy just obviously have a bit of booze on board. Luffy just smirked, and then just yelled, "Gomu Gomu no." Or Gomu Kopi redirection, which basically just his fists, basically both his arms and his tongue in tandem, basically swing around at redirecting angles. Like people are like, oh, it's going for me. No, it redirects, hit someone right behind Luffy. Like his arms basically have a very indecisive pattern, but so does his tongue. So with this, he beats out basically anyone around him, and when he's done, he beat up basically Alvida's whole crew, and his tongue sent Alvida flying a very far distance away. So yeah. Also, 39 feet for Luffy's Devil Fruit. I'd probably put that like Whole Cake Island Luffy for 39 feet. And Luffy currently can stretch about that same length. So, and this is pre-time Luffy not even knowing Haki yet. But then this Luffy's tongue can now go from 14 feet to roughly around 40 feet. So, yeah. Luffy's arms can already go roughly about 45 feet, so looking at his legs. His tongue can go to 40 feet. Just pretty standard lengths. So 14 meters all around. Probably even more than that. So yeah. But eventually Kobe and him head to Shelltown. When they get there, well, Luffy doesn't rob anyone here, so he actually does hear about what they're going through. Immediately, he snuck into the Marine base, actually putting his hand on the wall and just kind of steadying it on the wall and just walking through the base. He has to concentrate really hard, not bumping into anyone, or else once he's bumped into, even if he's like lightly tapped by a book or a paper, this may disrupt his focus to the point where he's going to be completely revealed. But good thing in his hybrid form, he can walk on ceilings. That's not a problem. So he does that, finds Sampo's room, uses his tail to pick up Zoro's swords, and immediately scurry out at full speed. Eventually, he got around Zoro, and Zoro's wondering who Luffy is. Luffy just uses his tail, holding Wano, and cuts off Zoro's restraints. Luffy then kind of grew back, but once his normal state, he shrank down, and Zoro recognized the hybrid form of Luffy as a notorious thief. They actually asked Luffy if he was that thief with the Canadian Devil Fruit. Luffy had nodded, saying, yeah, but he explained from being a thief to now wanting to be a pirate. Luffy's current bounty, roughly, no one knows it's Luffy besides Garp, Ace and Sabo and the Bandits, and Fuchsia. His current bounty is roughly about 12 million. So, yeah. So Zoro's kind of impressed by Luffy's bounty, seeing it as he got that by just being a petty thief. But once Luffy told Zoro why he stole as soon as Hello had arrived, Zoro had recovered. Luffy even gave him a bit of food that wasn't mess up rice balls. Then Zoro came along giving him Master Ice Balls, but they still tasted good to Zoro. But he has food, he has water in his system now. He has full ability, he's just a little tired. That's about it. This Helpo arrived wanting to know who Luffy was. We just smirked appearing right behind Helpo, and when he put him in a chokehold. I was wondering how Luffy moved so fast. Luffy then says that the reptiles are inhumanly fast, the smaller ones are inhumanly fast. As he just completely chokes out Helpo. Who's the other one? Soon the other Marines arrived by Luffy, began pointing guns at him. Zoro appeared behind them both, used with his swords drawn, and then just mumbled, "Onigiri." And that was honestly just like a cool moment for Zoro to show off in front of Luffy. Luffy and smirked, telling Zoro he wants to have a competition with him. They're gonna beat up Marines, and they have to keep count of each other. And Zoro then says, "Do you trust me? Do you trust me to not miscount how many you took down?" He says, I trust that you can count your own and mine at the same time, as I'll be doing that to you." Jin says, "Alright then." For this, they run through, beating up any Marine in their path until he gets to Morgan, and Zoro took down Morgan himself. In the end, Zoro and Luffy will both conclude that they had a tie for how many Marines they roughed up. But Zoro then says, you definitely hit Morgan harder, as there's a shockwave that came off of it, and I just had a slight breeze. So, off the force I hit Morgan with, I say you win." He says, "Alright, good. Since I win, join my crew." Zoro says, "Fine, why not?" He just smiled, saying, "Good." Luffy then flipped off the roof, landed on the ground, telling Kobe that he hopes he can make a good Marine. He smiled at Luffy as Luffy then walked away. But Zoro followed him. They got on the small fishing boat and they sail away. So Luffy kind of just with it. Check the factors. Yeah, there are some humans that eat fish, and really they don't need to cook fish because they're not humans. So Luffy can kind of just shoot his tongue into the water and just eat a fish raw with really no regard. It wouldn't really affect him. Eating raw animals doesn't really mess Luffy's stomach. One thing that doesn't mess with his stomach if he eats like an animal with like feathers or super tough scales. Like if he were trying to eat a shark and he left like the fins on, it'd scratch up the inside of his mouth, but he wouldn't really care too much. But then if he tried to eat a bird, the feathers would just annoy him as he'd cock off them up for like the next 3-4 minutes. Or even longer than that. But yeah. But eventually we can now go on to, I would say, probably just Luffy and Zoro heading to Orangetown. Luffy had seen Buggy, and well, Luffy is somewhat decent and basically just the pirates of the East Blue. It's honestly because he wants to copy Devil Fruit, he's never done that before. And told Zoro this is a pirate Captain Buggy, and he has a Devil Fruit that allows him to split apart his body. Luffy jumped on a wall, telling Zoro to save that girl right there, and then tell her that Buggy's been taken care of really quickly. Zoro nodded, and Luffy can just scurry away in his hybrid form at full speed. At full speed, he's traveling about as fast as Gear Second Luffy is in Enies lobby. So, this man's speedy. Eventually, he got all the way to where, right behind Buggy. Luffy actually acquired a gentle touch as he put his hand kind of like in Buggy's coat and lightly touching Buggy. He said to have some decent form of concentration. And then eventually, he is able to poke a hole through Buggy's coat lightly, and it touches Buggy. Well, with Luffy's fingertips being a bit different, it kind of felt like a bottle cap, and Buggy's like, whatever, it doesn't bother me, it's a bottle cap. Luffy had fully copied Buggy's fruit as he then stood up and appeared and just kind of revealed himself. Everyone just freaks out as Buggy went to attack Luffy. Luffy went back into normal form as suddenly his hand shot out, grabbing Buggy by the neck, and Buggy sent flying through the air as Luffy slams it into the ground as hard as he can, and that immediately took out Buggy. Luffy had such superior strength, and he'd already used to having 2 Devil Fruits now. Having a third one isn't really any different to him. Luffy just jumped in the air, as now he wields 3 Devil Fruits, as basically his body split apart, stretching at random lengths and areas, even his tongue's doing so. By the time he's done, he had used his 3 Devil Fruits to take down the majority of Buggy's crew, but that's Kabaji, Moji, and Richie. But Zoro just onigiri these 3 in an instant, and he's done. But Luffy then just ended up basically he lost the 3rd Devil Fruit. It only lasts about 2-3 minutes for him. He's not really experienced with this, so he has to train with it. But Luffy does still have a time limit, as he's very similar thing to moan about when he copies quirks. Mom was like, I have 10 minutes. So that'd be Luffy's limit. It's around 12 minutes. That'd be his limit for copying abilities once he's accustomed to doing so. But yeah. This Nami actually asked Luffy how he copied 3 Devil Fruits, or how he has 3 Devil Fruits. He says he doesn't know how, but his original fruit is a Gomu no Mi, and that allows him to stretch his limbs like he made a rubber. Then he has other fruit, the Kopi no Mi, which turns him into a chameleon. He's turned into like a full-fledged chameleon, as Luffy's currently around 7'6" in his normal form. His hybrid form makes him roughly about 13 feet, and then, well, his full chameleon form adds on like another 3-4 feet to Luffy, so he's almost 20 feet tall in this full chameleon form. It's just scary Nami, but she also thought it was decent at the same time. So Luffy's chameleon form is roughly red with a bit of yellow spots on it. So yeah, it does. You can't change colors, but it's honestly just based on weather and emotion for Luffy. So yeah, by the time he's done, well, Buggy's crew just eventually leaves, and Buggy eventually just sailed away in defeat, just wandering the seas. But Luffy, Nami, and Zoro would leave, and Nami, seeing someone with 2 devil fruits, having been able to copy more devil fruits, would actually, I actually believe Luffy somewhat stronger than Arlong, probably strongest in the whole East. She actually has no plans of betraying Luffy. She thinks it may be death sentence if he betrays them. She doesn't know how he is, or how he acts. By the way, the next stop is basically Start Village. They drive there, and I don't see this arc being much different. It's just that when Luffy would fall to the ground, he immediately put his hand like just right on the wall, and he just slid down the wall and blended in with it right as Kuro looked up to see him. But Luffy was just gone already. So yeah, notice how fast Luffy ever did him. Luffy says he's a devil fruit user, but by the time Kuro's crew was there, Luffy immediately realized that Zoro and Nami weren't there, so he just went to hybrid form and just crawled full speed ahead. As keep in mind, this man moves about as fast as sound does, so he can basically trace the whole village in seconds. It's not that hard for him to do. The village isn't that big. I'm pretty sure it's about the same size as Fuchsia, actually. So it's not that big of a village. It's like a small trading outpost, or it's like the size of it. Luffy immediately found Zoro and Nami, using his tail to pick them both up, and sped right up to where Usopp was. Luffy then threw Zoro with his tail, and Zoro just only geared to one of the Mountain Brothers, cutting him down in a second. Nami was thrown 2, as she just used her staff, nailing one of them right in the teeth, making him spit out a few of them. Luffy then started to go into full chameleon form, as he's been on a rampage on Kuro's crew, completely stomping them all out. When it's all done, it was honestly a pretty easy thing for him to do, until Kuro arrived wanting the smoke with this chameleon. But Luffy just went into his regular form, and, well, Kuro ran at Luffy full speed. But Luffy and Kuro are about as fast as Kuro is when Kuro would use basically just shave. But then Luffy's reaction speed is faster than that. It's about as fast as a Nell can move. Well, his reaction speed is about as fast as lightning is. So Nell can't even, not even Kuro can get close to hitting Luffy. By the time he got near Luffy the first time, Luffy grabbed his arm and just squeezed it full force, completely crushing it. His Luffy's strength is greater than Cannon. His physical strength is through the roof. I'd say it's near a giant level. So, hold up. Luffy physically is almost 100,000 just raw pounds and just grip strength and just regular strength. So he can just easily snap Kuro's arm just like it's a twig. As Luffy's strength, I'm kind of using like a chameleon tongue for reference. As Luffy's devil fruit, his go attacks are basically just based off how he uses his tongue. And well, this did increase his strength drastically. So he easily just snapped Kuro's arm, then just began bending it lightly, and almost tore it off completely. But eventually, he just went through Kuro against the wall and punched Kuro in the gut, as everyone see not even a wall, just against the cliffside. And Luffy's punch against Kuro's gut completely shattered the cliff, making it collapse on Kuro, killing him, and also giving him a burial at the same time. So yeah. But Usopp's amazed by these pirates, and actually wants to join them. And well, Luffy allowed Usopp to join. And Luffy began helping Usopp train by having Usopp actually try to basically just outmaneuver Luffy. Luffy's going to go somewhat light on Usopp, as he's going to move at the regular speed of a bullet. There's another Usopp's the weakest of the crew. Well, maybe besides Nami, but Nami and Usopp are just trying to catch Luffy, who moves at the speed of a bullet, just as like a slow version of his power. But until they get to the Brassiere, they can barely even get near him. Getting near him is the biggest struggle they have right now. Well, Zoro can actually somewhat keep pace with Luffy, so yeah. Then Brassiere, Luffy can easily pay for all the food, because he has millions of berries. He steals. He's a pretty damn good thief. He's better than Nami. So yeah, he can turn invisible. He can just blend in with the surroundings, and the man's about as faster than sound. So not hard. So with this, Luffy is actually able to somewhat just somewhat help him train. Then eventually we go on to Krieg, who tries to basically invade the ship. And here's how he gets a little nervous. Luffy's gone. But Luffy already knew what Luffy's going to do. Here's Kuro announced that the Brassiere was his. Suddenly he's picked her off the ground and just being choked by something. But then someone would see basically just Luffy turned as a giant chameleon looking down at Krieg, and this kind of like a deep, creepy voice saying, "Who do you think you are? I'm eating here and you're disrupting my meal." And Luffy used to tell to throw Krieg clean through his own ship, as Kuro was going to skip off the water, and by the time he lands, it felt like hitting pavement from like 10,000 stories up. So when Kuro hit the water for the final time, it killed him. Luffy dropped down, reverting back to normal form, and they're on Kuro's whole crew asking if they want to fight him instead. They overcharge at Luffy full speed, but before they even get to the stairs of the Bratier, he's doing a run at max speed and appeared behind them all with one fist forward, and they all just get flying through the air and knocked out. Now, Zoro and Sanji were both impressed by this massively, and even Zeph was. But then eventually, he spun around as Pearl was the last one left, and Luffy just yelled, "Gomu Gomu no, bullwhip." That Luffy then smacked against Pearl's basically just shield at max speed and strength, and it didn't shatter it. It just whipped it clean in half and hit him across the chest, which just broke a majority of his ribs and just slashed him across the chest at a just very painful way. But Luffy, using that same momentum, spun around, and then just yelled "Sumo Slap" as he appeared right in his hybrid form, pump striking him in the chest, sending him flying through the air into the ocean. And very similar to Krieg, he hit the ocean so hard that it killed him. So, yeah. Luffy just ended up smirking, and then shaking his tongue out at max speed, eating all of his food. And, well, now Krieg's whole crew's defeated. Miyaka's eventually arrives, him and Zoro do fight, but it kind of goes pretty similar. Then they head to Kokoyashi, where they mainly go see the doctor, as Nami is okay with them being there this time. So, yeah. So they go to the doctor. Zoro's being patched up as we speak. And Luffy then says that he's going to head to Arlong Park on his own. But Nami really believes Luffy can do this. Krieg's crew outnumbered the fishmen, and Luffy's come down in a split second. She believes that Luffy can do this on his own. Sanji and Usopp join him, and Nami tries to suck it up, and she goes with them, saying that she'll go in Zoro's place. We just smiled, saying, "You can't even move faster than a bullet, but you still have the courage. You still have the courage on someone who can pull the trigger point blank at you." And pat Nami on the head, saying that's her first step to catching him. Tenacity. Or in courage. So, yeah. Or not courage, but motivation. With this, Luffy punches on the gate to Arlong Park, and they run full speed ahead in. Luffy jumps right over basically everyone, landing around Arlong, and began wailing on him at max strength. And only took 2 punches to almost kill him. So, almost on the ground unconscious. Luffy decided to go in his hybrid form and begin wailing on everyone with his tail, his tongue, and his Go-No-Mi abilities. So yeah. So in his hybrid form, Luffy's about as muscular as he is in his Snake Man form, so Luffy's pretty tanky in this form. So yeah. But then eventually, Nami had basically fought against Hachi, but she actually was able to react to all Hachi's attacks and then smack him in the jaw with her staff. When Hachi had yelled, "Takes the 6-sword style," Nami just slammed her staff in Hachi's mouth, and everyone kind of saw the back of Hachi's head just had like a very weird indent on it. That's how she hit the ground unconscious. Nami had a few slashes on her arms, but that was about it. Then Sanji had beaten Kurubi, and Usopp actually was able to actually somewhat just contend with Chu. Chu could never land a hit on Usopp, but Usopp's punches never phased him. Until Usopp had an idea. He picked up Chu, and he was actually will have Chu basically slam his head right into the corner of a concrete wall. And Usopp got far enough away, he hit him on the side of the head with the lead ball, and then used Alcohol Star in combination with a Gunpowder Star, which lit him on fire. And, well, Chu was almost already dead from how hard he hit his head, so, yeah. Now the Arlong Park arc is solved, and now they end up leaving once Zoro just wakes up. He woke up kind of after the party, so he kind of told the doctor to keep Zoro on the heaviest medication possible until he's better. So yeah, Zoro's all set, they leave. And, well, as they leave, Nami thought she's all the wallets, so Luffy just smirked, saying he has better sneaky fingers than Nami does. And this kind of just made her blush a bit, but just smiled. Because she had all those wallets in her shirt, and Luffy had to feel around in her shirt to grab all the wallets that quickly. And he did just that, gladly. So yeah. Also, Luffy, how much he stole and how much money he had, he kind of was a bit of a baller. So, he's experienced a few things that canonical Luffy has not and will not. But yeah. Now with this, I'd say next thing is Loguetown. And this would be Luffy using experience with copying devil fruits. Luffy and Smoker do a fight, and Luffy's actually able to outspeed him. But eventually Smoker realizes that Luffy's gone. Before he knows it, he smacked right in the jaw so hard they got sent flying to a wall. And as he recovers from being this stunned, Luffy had put his hand in Smoker's face. As soon as Smoker realized that Luffy was Luffy's hand on his face, he jumped away. But then realized Luffy was gone too until he saw Luffy turn into smoke. He thought Luffy had some form of devil fruit that allowed him to copy them immediately, as he doesn't know there's no two kinds of devil fruits, but copying, he's a no. But it'd be one of the most powerful fruits possible. Luffy then suddenly just dashed at Smoker at max speed, as Luffy is faster than Smoker is, even in smoke form. He stole Smoker's jute and just beat Smoker with it. Smoker's tip of the staff, where jute is made of sea stone. This is just being Smoker unconscious. When he's done, he did the Smoker, that his devil fruit's pretty handy. And Luffy then swept through all of Loguetown, completely destroying all the Marines, and they realized it was Luffy, because the smoke that Luffy had was red, or had like a crimsonish tint to it. So yeah, by the time he's done, Luffy had finished, and his devil fruit time is up. He also stole a lot of things. Like, as soon as, not the time it's not up, but he's done using it. As soon as Sharks got back to the boat, Luffy just held his hand out, smoke just formed, and suddenly a ton of stuff just dropped down, and he then says, that's all we should need for now. They all laugh, as, by the way, this currently is the Mary, because Luffy's ship was big but not enough to fit the whole East Blue group. So, yeah, they have this bigger boat now. They'll kind of smirk at Luffy, then they leave. And with this, Smoker does actually ask Luffy what his fruit is. Luffy wanting to amp his rep, saying, which one? As he just smirks and leaves. Smoker says Luffy having two devil fruits, one of them happening to be a copy fruit. So with this, Smoker reported this to Marines that Luffy had two devil fruits, one of them allowing him to copy devil fruits, and use them about as effective as the actual users. So this is scared the Goro say. As there's two fruits they're scared of. One Luffy already had, and the other one, well, now it turns out to be the Kopi no Mi. They did interrogate Garp, but Garp's actually able to ace this test pretty easily, saying he didn't know that Luffy had two fruits. Luffy never showed it off. As you're right, Luffy never showed it off to Garp. He just said he had it. So, yep, Garp knew he had it, just never showed it off. So Gorosei realized that Luffy didn't even tell Garp about this. And the people that probably know about this would probably be Ace and Sabo. Garp does say those are his brothers, so, yeah. They kept going, they feared it just because the user could get in contact with someone powerful, but the guy didn't have a high bounty. Well, he had a decent one, it was 300 million, but because he's usually incompetent. But Luffy is a pirate sailing around and even copied Smoker's fruit and used it about as good as Smoker does. So what would happen if you were to come in contact with an admiral? So this is kind of just a worrisome thing for them. But Luffy, I'm telling you right now, will meet his match with Crocodile. Crocodile's a trained over user. Unlike, well, Smoker's a trained user too, but Luffy doesn't know. Smoker's not as good trained as Crocodile is with his fruit. So that's going to be a different league for Luffy. Luffy's still stronger than him, but it's a different league of Logia user. And with this, we now go on to just, I would say probably just Whisky Peak. But Luffy, in the line of work that he's had, he has a decent connection to the underground with how much he steals and what he sells. So you can tell that these guys are criminals. He just pointed out to everyone. And then says, from where they are, and according to Vivi's words, they're with Baroque works. So, don't fall asleep, and don't get drunk, or else we may die. Or, one of you might. The Zordon says, why don't we just beat them all up here? So seconds that vote, and Luffy says, yeah, why not? That's Luffy to head right at Igaram, saying, sorry, but you're the mayor, you go first. And this Igaram sends punch halfway across the village, and Luffy tells them all to wreck shop. This routes easily take down basically any bounty hunter in their way, and then done, BB actually asks why they did all that, but Luffy says, well, from what you said, we know these guys are bounty hunters. Simple as that. And they were for the guy we're trying to beat up. Why would we get comfortable around you? And then BB realized these guys are actually competent opponents, or fighters, and she actually told Luffy the whole story, and how Igaram was actually her attendant. Luffy immediately felt bad for Igaram, apologizing and bowing down immediately. Igaram didn't take any ill will towards Luffy, not ill will towards Luffy, and then said there's no biggie. Just escort Vivi back to Alabasta and just get back the kingdom. And Luffy said will do. Warlords aren't anything too impressive to him. So lead bounty. So before it was 12 million. That was before he even met Zoro. But they put together Luffy's fruit was the Kopi no Mi. So that means they raised his bounty up to roughly around 30 million. That was before he left the East. Now that he even copied Smoker's fruit and beat him, his current bounty is roughly about, I would say, 48 million, around there. He's a pretty decent bounty. So yeah. Now with this, we should go on to just this Lower Garden, which honestly isn't much different to me. I don't see it being much different. There's Luffy isn't painted on because his eyes are a bit different. So I need to get this fact correct real quick. Yeah, Luffy's eyes kind of function just like a Byakugan. It's just they don't see through trees, but they see a very vast distance. Luffy has this 360-degree vision, near 360. It can be 3, but it's not like 360. It's more like 330 degrees. But then he can see roughly about a 15-mile radius. So it's a pretty good combination for him. So he saw him as Golden Week a literal mile away. And Hazy, but when she appeared behind him, or tried to basically get him from behind, he spun around and jumped right over her and knocked her out. And Mr. 3 pointed out where he was. Before Zoro got too stiff from the wax, he cut down Mr. 3, but he wasn't knocked out, but Sanji just finished it off with a kick to the head. And with this, well, they eventually leave. When they leave, next stop is Drum Island, because Nami is still sick. And then they get to Drum Island. Luffy easily got up Drum Mountain, because Luffy can climb pretty fast, and, well, Luffy's a 20-foot chameleon, so he can turn into a 20-foot chameleon, and carrying someone on him isn't really that hard of a task. So he turned into a full chameleon, and in this form he can travel about as fast as a Nell can move. So you got fast as lightning in this form. But one thing is that he doesn't have full control over it, as he never uses this form often, so it's a bit harder to control his movements. But no animal bothered him, as they thought he was an animal too. But he kind of is. So he traveled Drum Mountain pretty easily, and he got up there before he got frostbite, or hypothermia, or both. But he let himself inside, and already heard the birds, so immediately he is actually able to get them all the way to a whole different area. And when kind of put them in window seal, and then let them sit there as he closed the doors and cleared out the whole place of snow. Doctor and Chopper were a bit nervous until they heard the birds in a whole different window of a room that was abandoned, and they thought that was better for whoever just arrived there. They saw Luffy telling Nami for it, like having just kind of like warm compress on her head and everything. They arrive, they treat Nami. Luffy offers them whatever they wanted. They took something from Luffy, and then now, well, because he has a lot of things with him, but yeah. Now Chopper actually asked Luffy how he got up here so quickly, and Luffy says that he won't tell Chopper. And Chopper then actually asks Luffy why, but Luffy says this devil fruit usually seems to unease people. Well, and Chopper does actually tell Luffy that he's a reindeer with the ability to speak. Luffy just saying he's kind of opposite. He's a human that can turn into a chameleon. What's weirder than that? Luffy and Chopper just laugh. Before the they did actually kind of try to copy Chopper. Before Luffy was actually able to copy a decent amount of Chopper's forms. So yeah, not a decent amount. Kind of was able to copy Chopper's just buff form. And Luffy thought that was pretty impressive. Even Chopper thought it was cool. So yeah. So hold up. So I wanted to give like Luffy a number or something. You can copy up to 5 devil fruits. If he copies any more than that, he loses full control of every devil fruit he's copied. He loses full control of it, and they kind of just go on a rampage inside of him, but also on the outside. So at the max, Luffy thinks it's safe to usually use around 3 devil fruits. Not like his original like 2 devil fruits and some random one he copied. No, he for example, he would have basically fight the admirals, and he could sneak up on them and copy all their devil fruits. He would use all 3 of their devil fruits and his own in tandem, and this is a bit safer for him. But he would copy the 3 admirals along with Kuzan and say Blackbeard. He'd basically go on a complete accidental rampage. That's kind of just how his abilities are. But yeah. But I just want to get that away real quick. With this, Chopper does join the crew, thinking this Luffy did call himself a freak too, and Chopper felt a bit more accepted after this. And with this allowed them to actually bond. When they get to Alabasta, I don't see this being much different until it came down to what was it? Oh yeah, the final fight between Luffy and Crocodile. In this fight, Luffy is ready to run the ones again. Luffy did heal decently quickly, as some reptiles do grow their tails back. This one Luffy's actually able to grow he can grow I'd say his arms and tongue back, but his legs growing back is something that he can't do. If he were to lose his hybrid form, all he needs to do is just go out of hybrid form and go back into it, and he's a tail again. It's shorter than usual, but he has a tail again. But he can regrow his arms and his tongue. That's about it. But also his healing is very quick, very quick. Like the one that Zoro got from Mihawk, it would take Luffy 2 days tops to fully heal from that without a bad scar being left. So wounds like that, Luffy isn't really too phased by. Even being impaled with how much muscular Luffy was, it wasn't like the hook didn't go straight through him. It went into him, but it didn't go straight through him. So Luffy is ready to fight in the span of like maybe 3-4 hours. He's ready for the ones after 3-4 hours. But Luffy had learned weakness of Crocodile's abilities, and began learning new abilities. One would happen to be him kind of spitting out basically just water at the speed of a bullet, which would nail Crocodile right in the face, which would actually stun him. So yeah. But with this, when him and Crocodile are ready for a fight again, Luffy is just like water balloon Luffy. Then Crocodile this spit hit him like right in the face. I thought that was gross, but it also hurt him really badly. He held his eye before he can even think of something else to happen. Luffy just used his better speed to appear right in front of him, hitting him in the face where they sent flying through the air. But then Luffy used his tail to hit him right in that same wet spot, sending him flying through Alabasta. Luffy jumped on the ground and running at max speed. As Ace is actually currently leaving, this is how fast Luffy is. It's honestly just astonished how fast Luffy is. Luffy's always been faster and stronger than him, and Luffy still seems to be that way for him. But then Luffy had another idea. Crocodile is actually currently just dazed and almost unconscious, and he still does have good reflexes. But Luffy's moving too fast for him to actually actively react on reflex. Luffy kind of just grabbed him by his face, or Crocodile before his muscles even kick in that he was even being touched. We just had him on the ground, someone grabbed his head, thumbed his head on the ground full force, and then Crocodile finally back to turning completely into sand, but he was unconscious, so it didn't even matter. Crocodile's defeated that way. And Luffy's laughed at him and walked away. With that, Crocodile's defeated, with Luffy not taking any damage, and that fight ended in the span of like 3-4 minutes. So, yeah, and Robin saw how fast that fight ended. So, Luffy confronted Robin, and she asked if she wanted to fight, but she actually wanted to go to Poneglyph. So, that Luffy actually found where it was, put his hand on the ground, stuck his hand to the ground, and lifted it up. But put his hand on Robin's shoulder, we can talking to her for a bit. She thought it was a little weird that he was touching her this much. So eventually, she realized that Luffy had copied her abilities and kind of held her captive using her own abilities. So yeah. Because he can copy people's abilities on somewhat of their own scale, unless they're awakened users, or near awakened users. But as they got down at the Poneglyph, Luffy had Robin read it to him out loud. And when she was done, Luffy then says, "Good, you're on my crew now." This confused Robin, as she says he never planned on holding her captive or killing her or selling her to the Marines. This was honestly just to scare her. That was all it was. They began leaving, telling her that she was forced to join his crew. She can if she wants, though. As he leaves, and then she says she accepts. Now, she actually isn't scared of them being caught by CP9 or the government. If Luffy can catch even her off guard, and she always has her guard up, this is something just shocking. CP9, she thinks that Straw Hats could actually contend to them. So yeah. But on to the Straw Hat fights. Zoro fought Mr. 1 and actually able to easily outpace and outmuscle him. So Mr. 1 never even landed a successful hit on Zoro. There's maybe 1 or 2 okay blows sent in, but that's about it. Okay, Mr. 1's defeated by Zoro, and Zoro has 2-3 minor cuts. Nami from his double finger, and Zoro can barely even keep up with Nami's reaction speed. Nami even beat her without taking much damage. At the best, maybe like a small prick on her foot, and that's about it. Then Sanji vs. Mr. 2. Honey just bum rushed him so fast that he just nailed him in the gut, seeing him flying through a whole building. And that was about it. Mr. 4 vs. Usopp. Usopp someone able to dodge all the baseballs he throws and hits. So, Usopp landed a few good blows on him before he jumped away and used a few of his stars, which took down Mr. 4. Chopper's the same way. Miss Merry Christmas can't catch up to Chopper, so Chopper beat her pretty easily. And, yeah. Another bomb that Crocodile had. So, this bomb isn't set to go off, and if it is, Luffy's analyzing every bit of the surroundings, looking for Crocodile. I know the smoker took him into the Marines already, but, yeah. Luffy had just seen the bomb about to be set. Luffy immediately just ran around the building at full speed. They picked up the bomb like there's nothing with one hand, and threw it in the air as high as he could. Luffy's strength is basically just quintupled I'm not quintuple. Just it's really high compared to canonical Luffy. If this is in the air, that when it explodes, it crumbles like just maybe one building, and that's the one that Luffy's in. That's the only building that's destroyed in this blast. But everyone thought was like, Luffy, no, are you okay? Luffy walked out unscathed, saying, "Yeah, I'm fine. Why not? Why wouldn't I be?" Luffy's basically just completely superhuman. Yeah. But Luffy introduced Robin as her archaeologist, and yeah, they lead towards Jaya, and yeah, Luffy's current bounty after beating Crocodile. As Smoker had watched Luffy's fight Crocodile take like 4 minutes, but then Luffy's also Ace's brother, so Luffy's 48 million rare bounty went up from 48 million to just about, I would say 90 million. His skill is honestly just something that Crocodile can't move past. So yeah, it's not 90 million. I'll say like 75 million. I'll go that high for him. Okay. We have Luffy 75 million. Zoro and Sanji tied at 30 million. Nami and Usopp are both at, well, not them both. Nami and Usopp are both below 30 million. Usopp at 20 million. Nami at 16 million. And Chopper doesn't have a bounty. So, yeah. Luffy and Robin are tied. So are Zoro and Sanji. But now with this on Jaya, Bellamy does, well, none just does Luffy not to cause trouble. He's a relatively nice guy, but Luffy does actually is part of getting in fights, but only people deserve it. As Luffy also does a bit better street smarts, so he's aware of what this island is, and him and Nami both are, but so is Robin. Yeah, Nami just doesn't tell him to start a fight. As soon as Bellamy messing with Luffy, but then like the time he's done just beat up Luffy, he's got Luffy's shot back up unscathed. And realized that Luffy didn't even leave a mark on him, and everyone in the bar realized that. Even Zoro did, but Zoro realized that from the first strike. The barkeep was honestly just amazed at this, and Luffy just ordered another drink. But Bellamy officially taunts Luffy, and Luffy says, "Sure, why not?" As they go outside, and Bellamy immediately just began doing Spring Hopper. And Jesus Burgess and the Shark Crew are watching this, and what Luffy would do. As soon as Bellamy was telling to blow, Luffy just disappeared, and tells Bellamy he thinks he'll copy his ability. As Luffy just began turning around the area at higher speeds, and he's wondering how Luffy's able to spring around. Luffy had his tail wrapped around Bellamy's leg the whole time Bellamy been trashing him. As Bellamy didn't move, and neither did Luffy. So Luffy actually, not his tail, but he has his arm like kind of like on Bellamy's foot, but his tail around him, so Bellamy didn't move his foot. But eventually he sprung so fast towards Bellamy that Luffy just kind of did you know how Deku in infinite 100% like these multiple punches. Luffy's moving just so fast that his fist had the same effect on Bellamy. Bellamy hit so many times he got sent flying through the whole building and hit the ground unconscious. Then Luffy's done, he just smirked and called Bellamy trash as he just walks away. So yeah. So we're thinking of the Smoker and Ace and Alabasta. Luffy immediately copied Ace's fruit and just fought off Smoker himself, telling Ace to leave. So yeah. But now back to Jaya. Actually, we can just go Skypiea, which honestly, I don't see being much different. Luffy can combat reaction and just ready to speak and somewhat be close to Enel, but Enel can somewhat just pass through Luffy either way. So he has observation hockey, which better than Luffy's regular vision. So I don't see Skypiea being much different. It's just that Luffy, when he has his arm encased in a golden bell, no one knows that Luffy can regenerate. Luffy doesn't even know he can regenerate, but he assumed he can. So he bit off his arm immediately in his full chameleon form and landed, and then after like 10 minutes of playing like hide and seek with Enel, his arm grew back completely. So yeah, it took a lot of energy to regrow his arm. Kind of like how Piccolo takes a lot of energy to regrow any limb he loses. But yeah, but he beat Enel still. The only thing that was different is that he bit off and regrew his arm. But other than that, this arc is pretty much the exact same. But yeah. Now this before Enel leaves, Luffy copied his fruit, threw Enel in the air, then just Raiga Enel, killing him completely. So Enel's dead. And with this, they decide to leave, heading to Water 7, where this arc still is much different than canon. Where it's mainly different is that the sea train scene, where Luffy immediately told Sanji that he's going to invade the sea train himself. Sanji replaced Luffy on the ship, on the sea train, as the head of morale. Luffy immediately jumped off the sea train, so far they landed right in the tracks, and with his height and speed, He ran to fleet ahead. It's 7 million to run on water. It's a 50 million fruit. There's probably not more models of this fruit because it's non-canon. So this chameleon fruit kind of gave Luffy the bundle of abilities of multiple chameleons, which allowed some chameleons can run on water. So Luffy didn't begin running on water like how Brook does. So yeah, when running on water, eventually he got into front of the sea train, and as soon as Lucci saw Luffy at the window, we started to onto the sea train at such fast speeds that it knocked out Lucci immediately. Luffy broke the window. Luffy jumped in, and then began basically beating down CP9 with just disrespect. And then instead of beating up CP9, he had freed Robin and Frankie. And Luffy had gone back up finally. But Luffy already copied his ability and went into basically his leopard form, but turned it's like a leopard mixed in with a chameleon. Then beat the dog shit out of Lucci. When he's done, Luffy had to stop the sea train. Then then the other sea train stopped. Robin and Frankie get on that sea train. Well, first the other CP9 agents tried to stop them, but Luffy cleared them out in seconds. Frankie on the sea train. And Luffy then tells them that it's now time to raid Enies' lobby. Everyone just yells and cheers. It's Enies' lobby, and like Luffy said, they kind of just raid it. And when they're done, Phantom just got a buster call at the last minute, but the Strats had already left. Like, basically calls it, they're leaving. He can't even stop Nami, who steps on his face, and they leave. So yeah. Pause. All right. Yeah. Second called a buster call. I read is Enies' lobby. Basically, is Buster are leaving Enies' lobby. Blue Nose still saved everyone because Blue Nose is a good guy. Then post Enies' lobby, where Kobe would try to use Soda on Luffy. But when he tried to, Luffy immediately grabbed him by the neck and held him up, saying, "Kobe, you know I'm faster than you, right?" Kobe just smirked as he freed himself from Luffy's grip, or thought he did. When he thought he broke Luffy's grip, he just realized that Luffy didn't let go or budge a single inch. Luffy just sighed, saying, Don't make me throw you halfway across Water 7. Kobe immediately says he gives in, and then put him down. And Goro easily blocked every single one of Helm's attacks, so, yeah. Then Garp also revealed Luffy's dad as like Monkey D. Dragon, but Luffy he already knew that, which didn't shock Garp, as Sabo keeps in touch with Luffy and Ace all the time, so, yeah. Like, Luffy had spoken to Dragon once or twice over Denmushi, so, yeah. Dragon didn't trust it, but Luffy convinced him. Like, Luffy's talked to Dragon, he knows who Dragon is, and he knows where he is. You can tell this to Garp, but Garp's like, well, you can tell? Luffy's like, nope, not telling you a thing. And Garp's like, I tried. So, yeah. But now with this, we can probably go on to now Florian Triangle. But Luffy can see through a fog pretty decently, so it wasn't really too much of a challenge. And they still did Sunny up, by the way. But there's a bit more room for training. Yeah, so I don't see this arc being much different, honestly. It's just that Oars was being a bit easier to defeat, as he can't transform into a chameleon or a hybrid chameleon, or use Gomino attacks, or copy double fruits. The only thing is that Luffy woke up a bit earlier. Right as Oars started a rampage, Luffy woke up like 5 minutes later and crawled into Oars. He crawled into Oars, copied Moria's ability, and then used his own doppelment to actually stab straight through Moria's chest, and then left Oars. The only thing is that Luffy stabbed Moria right as Moria wasn't looking. Because remember how he stabbed Moria and called up Oars? Luffy just stole Absalom's fruit and called up him. So, yeah. Luffy used legitimate invisibility to call up Oars. But they leave, and and Zoro still has his his Shisui, but Yubashiri is still intact. Yubashiri is honestly just now more of a collectible. As Zoro didn't want to trade out swords, but he traded out the weakest one, being Yubashiri. Now with this, Sabaody, which honestly isn't much different either. But when it came down to Kid and Law, as they're walking out, Luffy had his arms around them. Like, come on guys, lighten up. There's a question what he's doing until Luffy just suddenly held his hand out, and Purple Lightning pulsed off of it as he attracted all the weapons to him, and smacked everyone with these weapons. And then he then used Room, and sent everyone flying far away, saying that was too easy. He then just winked, saying thank you for the fruits. Kid and Law to see if they have their abilities still, and they do, but Luffy copied theirs, on with him about that they use them. So yeah. And he keeps these fruits even until Kizaru had arrived. So as Kizaru had arrived, Luffy been using basically Kid, Law, Robin, basically any different user around, he copied their abilities and began using them all out against Kizaru. He even got copied Kuma's fruit mid-fight. As Kuma couldn't land a hit on Luffy, and Luffy just crawled around Kuma, just holding onto him and copying his fruit. But eventually, as soon as Kizaru went in for the final blow, as all Luffy's crew was gone far away, and they heard Luffy keep fighting against Kuma and Kizaru, Luffy had then sent Kizaru flying. At the same time, Kuma had sent Luffy flying. Kizaru crashed straight into Marineford, and everyone's questioning where he came from. He then says, "Sorry, Luffy copied too many fruits." Garp is saying, "Which fruits?" And Kizaru says, Papa fruit, the Jiki no Mi, the Ope no Mi, the Hana no Mi, and immediately Garp's like, "So in another sense, Luffy copied Kuma's fruit and smacked you here." Kizaru nodded, and even Inu's like, usually I'd be pissed, but this is a tough combo. Like, Inu just walked away, and Luffy's currently at Amazon Lily. He landed on his feet. So, wandered around being able to sniff out which plants are poisonous and which aren't. Mushrooms, I mean. So eventually he'd eaten decent amounts of food and everything. Plus he can just stick his tongue out and just smack a bird so hard that its feathers come off and eat the bird whole. That's all he does. He can eat raw meat. Luffy's really starving. He eats any animal he sees or any fish he sees. But eventually, Margaret just fired arrows at him, but he can catch these all and throw them to the side like it's nothing. Because he doesn't have observation hockey, he can just see Margaret a literal mile away. She can't hide from him. He can smell and see her. Well, he could see her unless she hides behind a rock or something, but that's about it. Or only rocks and trees up sort of vision, which is really hard to do. But eventually, he's still beating Margaret. But more Amazons arrived, or Kuja arrived, and they beat Luffy. And he's put in a cell. So he's like, "Well, tell me all about why you're here, you man." Luffy turned into a full chameleon, just broke out of the cage and just went to normal state and walked around. He put on some clothes. They all chased Luffy, but he just outspeeds them easily. Threw out Boa, so he was forced to fight in the whole arena thing. But other than that, not much of this is different. Same with Impel Down. Not much of this is different is that Luffy isn't hit by Magellan. But instead, he actually copied Bonchan's fruit and sped full speed behind Magellan, even around a corner. But he ran into the corner again, and eventually he turned into Hannibal. As he touched Hannibal's face previously, hoping that it'd still work even if he copied Bonchan's fruit early, or later. But it did work, so he copied Hannibal's face, and turned into Hannibal himself. Now Magellan's like, "Hannibal, did you see Luffy?" And he was like, "Yeah, I pushed," or Luffy as Hannibal says, "Yeah, I pushed him into a cell. He should be over here." Magellan's like, "Good, I'll handle these guys from here." Before Magellan can even turn on the poison, Luffy just disabled his transformation and just punched Magellan in the back full force. He didn't get enough force to break Magellan's ribs from behind. As Magellan realized that Luffy just copied someone's fruit and turned into Hannibal using someone else's fruit, he didn't pass out, realizing he got duped. Every time Hannibal is tied up, so yeah. So when Magellan defeated, Luffy copied his fruit and ran all throughout Impel Down without being exposed to poison. Plus, Luffy has a very good immunity to poison, so if he was poisoned, he would have been tied up for maybe 3-4 hours. But Luffy honestly just used poison to melt through all floors of Impel Down until he landed in level 6. Then, when they're good, Inazuma just cut upstairs and they got all the way up. So, no, Luffy wasn't in Impel Down for more than roughly about 30 minutes. Yeah, when he got Magellan's fruit, his trip was very easy for him. When he found all the way down level 5, boom, one more floor, he's down. And they leave. And he also got copy the Demon Guard's fruit, so he can bulldoze anyone. But they get to Marineford right as Aokiji froze the water, turning it all into ice. The ship had landed, basically destroying a majority of the ice around them. So, Aokiji's hard work not destroyed. But Luffy looked around with a joyous smile. As Whitebeard first Luffy was right next to Whitebeard, and Whitebeard questioned why Luffy's smiling. Luffy put his hand on Whitebeard's hand, Whitebeard's like, "What are you doing?" He didn't pull away, but Luffy just held onto him intently. And Ace yelled, "Whitebeard, let him do it." Immediately, Garber yelled, "Stop Luffy." But immediately Markin smirked, saying, "Oh, Oji-san, he copies double fruits." Or just smirked before he hastily let Luffy do it and threw Luffy straight towards Ace. He smirked as Marco caught Luffy. Luffy copied his fruits too. And then more Whitebeard pirates get to Luffy until Luffy reaches his maximum capacity, and now Luffy is at an overflow. And he knew this was what he's trying to do, and Ace knew it too. Luffy landed before he went on a complete devil fruit rampage. When he was done, the whole area around him was destroyed. Only Marines lie in his wake, completely defeated. Luffy had freed Ace by accident, but still Ace was freed. And Ace was actually able to tank a lot of Luffy's blows as Ace can't be touched. So Luffy's rampage is up. Just Luffy basically won a majority of Marineford by himself. But yeah. So Luffy's current bounty at this point is roughly about 380 million. So pretty high actually. This one he broke out of Impel Down, broke into it and out of it. He beat Magellan, he beat Hannibal, he beat the Demon Guards, he beat Sadie, he beat Domino. He beat so many. He basically beat any line of defense in Impel Down. But eventually, with basically Luffy on with the rampage done and a lot of Marines defeated, all that's left are basically the warlords. But Luffy already knew what was going to happen. So Luffy immediately just didn't pass a majority of warlords as he tackled Doflamingo. Luffy's watching what Luffy's doing is he tries to basically use his strength to cut up Luffy. Luffy's skin is too hard to cut. Luffy only needed roughly about 10 seconds to copy Doflamingo's abilities, and those 10 seconds are up. And he copies Doflamingo's abilities on the same scale as Dofi. One thing is that Luffy doesn't have Haki, but he has the same abilities as Dofi, just take away the Haki. So he kind of disrupted Doflamingo in his strings, and before Doflamingo can react, he cut off one of Doflamingo's hands. Doflamingo easily switched it back on using his strings, but was just amazed, but he's kind of has to sit down because he bled a lot. But Luffy kind of cut down more and more Marines using Dofi's fruit, then eventually stole Kuma's fruit, slapping most Marines far, far away. This is honestly just a war via basically just Marines versus Luffy. So all it really is. Like what troops helping? Sure, Luffy's doing the heaviest damage though. But eventually, what Luffy really needs to happen for Luffy now is that he needs to basically just face down against the admirals. But Ace is by his side, but then so is Marco. At the moment Garp tried to punch Marco out of the air, Luffy just Kuma'd him far away, just Kuma'd him straight into the red line. So yeah. But Luffy, Ace, and Marco actually face on against the admirals. And Luffy starts Haki. He knows him and Haki will be kind of swapping hands. Haki's magma is completely melting and burning Luffy. It stings a bit, that's about it. But Luffy realized that Haki's reaction speed is pretty fast, but his opposition Haki couldn't react to Luffy's lightning speed currently. Because, well, he hasn't fought anyone powerful for a while, so Luffy barely touching him, using at least like one toe pad, sent Haki flying straight to Marineford. His only finger, he wasn't flying for 3 days, 3 nights, just one, maybe 10 minutes. Kino got back up, only see Luffy right there again. Luffy's ready to hit him, but he fell right in Luffy's trap as Luffy just smirked, saying, "Ursus shock." But suddenly, everyone sees a loud explosion as Akino just yelled in pain. Akino the ground as Luffy's time Kuma's fruit is now up. Ace had decently pushed back Aokiji, and Marco pushed back Kizaru. With this, Sengoku then yells that the war is a fail, they lose. But a lot of Marines refuse to actually give up the war right now. But Luffy walked over to Sengoku before slapping him to the ground with his tail and copy his fruit. Going into full Buddha now, he destroys a lot more Marines in his path. By the time he's done, he then smirks, and, well, now the war's officially won. Every single Marine force is defeated, and Luffy is the credit for a lot of it. But suddenly, Luffy's shot right in the back of the head by Blackbeard, and it didn't really faze him until Blackbeard punched him in the face full force, sending Luffy flying far, far away. He bounced off the ground and landed unconscious, as Blackbeard had to use his Devil Fruit to actually, first cancel out the Gomu no Mi, and cancel out the Kopi no Mi, and the Buddha Fruit. So, that Luffy's defeated. And with this, Blackbeard is still shot dead. And right as soon as Ace went for revenge, he beat a decent amount of the crew, but it's just a rematch between him and Blackbeard, but Ace is still in pretty bad condition, so he's not in a good condition. The best of the injuries are healed, but he's still kind of tired from fighting so many Marines. So Blackbeard still beats Ace, but Ace Okino jumped right above Ace, saying this war will have a meaning. So he then kills Ace, but Luffy didn't see it. But Akino would see Whitebeard jump down, and he beat Akino into a coma. So yeah. But there's really no debate for Fleet Admirals. There's so many Marines wanting Akino for Fleet Admiral, but he's in a coma, so they have to wait till he wakes up. But in the meantime, Whitebeard still died, Ace still died because Luffy is knocked out, and there's really no one to actually stop this war now. Since he arrived seeing Luffy unconscious, but saw how much mayhem Marineford was in, and declared the war as the pirates and Marines have a draw. He kind of just says that the Marines and pirates have a draw. So yeah, everyone refused to acknowledge. The Marines refused to acknowledge mainly, but Mark yelled saying, "How many of yours are dead? How many of yours are dead? How many of ours are dead?" So we've only had one casualty on our side. We have a few knockouts, sure, one casualty. You have thousands of casualties. The Marines lost, not a draw. You lost. And Naki Inu had to face every additional Marine there had to face the reality that they sacrificed so many people. So yeah. But with this, we have to go on to just the end of Marineford. And actually, the Whitebeard pirates had taken Luffy with them. The Whitebeard crew took Luffy. But Law followed them, and eventually, well, they're kind of Fishman Island right now. So Fishman Island, well, Luffy is trained by Jinbei for a bit in Fishman Karate. Eventually, he's brought back up to Rayleigh, and then he trained for another year on Ruskaina. He already learned observation from Jinbei. Then Rayleigh really focuses on Luffy's armament hockey. With a whole year of armament hockey training for Rayleigh, Luffy did actually do pretty decent in armament hockey, where he's on the verge of advanced armament hockey. Armament hockey. Did I say honky? But whatever. Because Luffy was on Fishman Island for a whole year with Jinbei and the Whitebeard crew, including Marco. He had actually was able to defeat Hody and all his crew, so there's really no Fishman Island arc. He just went down there to say hi to Jinbei, then they leave. So then next is Punk Hazard, but Luffy heard about what happened to Punk Hazard, so yeah. But here, honestly, it's not as much different either. But also Luffy's current bounty after his havoc at Marineford. Luffy's current bounty is already 900 million. This man killed hundreds of Marines in a span of 12 hours. He killed hundreds of them, even thousands. You can go as far as saying thousands. And it may still be inaccurate because there's probably more than that. Luffy's kill count currently is unestimated just because of his rampage with more than 5 devil fruits, including the Guro no Mi and the Phoenix fruit. He had Ace's fruit, Kuma's fruit, Marco's fruit, Whitebeard's fruit, Juzo's fruit, Hancock's fruits, Buggy's fruit, Crocodile's fruit. He had so many of them that basically it was impossible to defeat. Maybe a few Vice Admirals could contend with Luffy, but no, the Guro we smacked them far, far away. Luffy's bounty is almost already near 1 billion. And he's already beaten Dofi too, but it wasn't hockey. He's cuffed Dofi's hand. But yeah. But Punk Hazard isn't much of an arc really. The one Luffy saw what Caesar could do, Luffy just immediately just covered it, held his breath, and dashed straight through the smoke, put in Caesar's chest, and immediately copied his fruit and used the same level of power that he could and destroyed Caesar. So yeah. And with this probably just ends the arc with them heading now to Dressrosa. But Dressrosa isn't much of an arc either. Luffy has already fought Dofi, and knows how Doflamingo fights. So he immediately just kind of crawled all the way to Doflamingo as fast as he could before copying Fujitora. He copied Fujitori's fruit, then immediately just ran full speed ahead towards where Doflamingo was. As soon as he found him, he has around 2 minutes left of the fruit that Fujitora has. Zushi no Mi. And so actually summon a meteor just right on top of Dofi. Dofi turned in the castle, and there's only him in there. Luffy just smirks at this, and as soon as the meteor was about to hit, Fujitora actually destroyed it. But that was honestly a distraction. So Fujitora's wondering where this meteor came from, only Fujitora be caught up in just these strings, and Luffy apologizes to Fujitora, saying that he doesn't want to hurt such a kind man, so Fujitora will have to sit this fight out. And then Luffy cut off the same hand that he cut off before from Doflamingo, but now Luffy knows hockey. And Doflamingo being caught off guard and still being weakened by the effects of gravity, Luffy completely and utterly just decimated Doflamingo. Luffy's hockey is actually so strong that it actually held Fujitora in place for most of the fight. So, yeah. When Fujitora finishing got out of the strings, Luffy was already gone, and Doflamingo's half dead. So, yeah. Leaving the castle with everyone outside, basically Doflamingo's crew. Once you see Luffy walking out with his hand covered in blood, he just smirked as he put strings around a lot of the crew, and cut down the majority of the crew with these strings. So, yeah. Stark's crew arrived as Zoro easily defeated Pika. Pika didn't even grow into his full size yet. He was just on a rampage currently because they thought he killed Dofi. Yeah, a lot of different crew are just going berserk right now. So they're all defeated because they're so sloppy and not ready for actual fight. So yeah, with this, Fujitora actually asked Luffy if Doflamingo's dead, but Luffy just said no, he's alive. Fujitora thanked Luffy for this. But tell Luffy just don't put his hands on Admiral again, and Luffy just nodded at that. We shocked this kind boy was the one that killed so many Marines at Marineford. But Goku basically just told Fujitora, like, when he arrived, saying, Luffy is a kind kid, truly, but he did what he could to save his family. And then he failed, but didn't know it until days later. So, yeah. When Luffy realized that Ace died, he still go on the whole just tirade, on the whole rampage again. But it wasn't like, where's Ace? He's like no. He's like no, let me head back to Marineford. Let me head back. So yeah. But we can probably head on to the next arc now, because Doflamingo's handled pretty easily. The next arc being, I would say, Luffy's return to Sabo, which honestly wasn't much different, but Sabo did tell Luffy it wasn't his fault that Ace died, because Luffy did break down when he told Sabo what happened at Marineford. Sabo felt bad for not arriving, as he was currently dealing with some other business, and didn't have time to read Newsku. Sabo felt it was his fault too, so they both kind of broke down about it, but they eventually got over it. Sabo still ate the Mare no Mi, or tried to, but Luffy stopped him and actually asked Sabo if he's ready for it, and Sabo said yeah. But Sabo ate the fruit, and Luffy then told Sabo a few of the moves and how the moves worked, as he's copied the Mare no Mi before. He copied it 2 years ago and still remembers every single move vividly. Once he started how all the moves worked, Sabo had to thank Luffy, as Sabo was actually able to use the fruit about as effective as Ace did. So yeah. So with this, the next arc would probably end up being Zoe. But they arrived there not long after. They weren't on Drum Island under Dressrosa for very long. Luffy already knew where Dofi was, and he knew how Doflamingo fought. I mean, he was ready for hands. So yeah. This is Luffy's a bit more ready for battle, hoping to find a new double fruit ability or new techniques. But on Zoe, they arrive there right as Jack is still on his rampage. So they arrive as Jack is still on a rampage. Well, all the gas is still there. Luffy just swept his tail at like full blast, and immediately just erased the majority of it. When he copied Magellan's fruit, that already gave him just big poison immunity or resistance. When after copying Caesar's fruit, they gave him gas resistance. So Luffy's basically immune to most forms of toxins and poisons now. So he was just inhaling all of it without any sudden side effects, and just erased all the smoke just in an instant. But now with Jack ready, looking at Luffy, he was confused, but he also does recognize Luffy as someone on his level now. Luffy's current bounty, 1 billion. He withheld Fujitora for minutes as he beat Doflamingo to half to death. So yeah, his bounty's 1 billion. This rock crew, their bounties, I would say, are very similar as in canon. That's really just what I'd say. Luffy's the one doing more impressive things than this rock crew. The only thing that's impressive about them is their power, but they don't need to show it off as often as they usually. Well, they show it off as much as they do in canon, but it's not as eye-catching as what Luffy does. Plus, it's devil fruits. So Luffy's also more likely to get a bounty raised in hopes that more pirates would gun for him because of just his higher bounty. So yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. With this, basically, we go on now to the Straw Hats, when they would go and, well, first Luffy beat up Jack, which wasn't too hard. He's copied Jack's ability and then cut down Jack in seconds. Then he's done. Then he talked to Inu, Inuarashi, and Nekomamushi, talking about Raizo, and realized that Raizo was a double fruit user, but yeah. But the next arc is going to be Whole Cake Island, and it's the same crew that's going there. Luffy, Chopper, Nami, Brook, Sanji. Sanji also taken by Beijing. Right as the Strats had arrived, or right as the other part of the crew arrived, Sanji had just left. Well, he left on the way there. So yeah, like Sanji didn't even get to Zoe. Beijing interrupted him, and Beijing's like, "Come with us. Germa is a Whole Cake Island asking for you." Sanji had no other choice but to go. But yeah, so Luffy first fight against Cracker. We immediately just found where the real Cracker was with his better vision, but also better observation hockey. So he immediately just spread through all these things before beating up Cracker, and the thing he's done, he copied his ability and used tons of Cracker soldiers to actually just raid Big Mom's area, and then that was just honestly a diversion. He used just so many Cracker guards to raid Whole Cake Chateau. But he had better abilities than Cracker did, so many of these abilities just guards are stronger. Time he's done, Big Mom had arrived in front of Cracker, wondering what the hell he's doing, only to see him beaten up, and see Luffy sitting under a tree, smirking. Before she can do anything, Nami hit her with under tempo, and Zeus was a merchant to protect her, but, well, she kind of used her contact to absorb Zeus. Then Nami used Zeus against Big Mom. It's not honestly just a big trap for Big Mom, that's all it was. So Luffy and Big Mom fight, Luffy and Nami fight against Big Mom. Luffy copied her fruit alongside Crackers. Without her, he was watching from a distance, tried to hit Luffy, but Luffy saw it coming a mile away, literally, and he was actually able to dodge Katakuri's attacks. When sped towards him at full speed, Katakuri can predict Luffy's movements with how unpredictable his fighting style is, and he copied Katakuri. So Mochi no Mi, so the mochi fruit, the soul fruit, and the biscuit fruit. He comes to be using all these abilities against Katakuri and Big Mom all at once, which I should put him at a pretty Katakuri being inferior to Luffy, and Luffy took a few years off of his life, and it was enough to make him pass out. But when he passed out, Luffy gave the years back as he's not fond of killing someone early. But as Luffy keeps fighting Big Mom for the next 10 minutes, and with Nami helping him, Big Mom's completely and utterly just destroyed at this point. So, yeah. Plus, Luffy turned a lot of her homies against her. So Big Mom's kind of just overwhelmed in her own domain. Even when her kids tried to get nearby, Luffy just gave life to so many homies, taking over all Big Mom's homies, that they don't enter the forest, they're being killed off. So, yeah. Luffy just took over most of Big Mom's homies. And Chopper, in the meantime, just got back Sanji. Chopper got back Sanji, and Brook copied the poneglyph blueprints down. But as about to leave, Big Mom was just panting, covered in blood and bruises, and a few scratches, and she asks how Luffy can wield 2 devil fruits. But he says that, well, he doesn't know, but he knows that he's seen someone try to eat 2 of them and they've died. But if you're like him and Teach, and you have a different kind of body, it's pretty easy. So yeah, now this Luffy just used one final attack on Big Mom, and it involved him taking over Prometheus. Prometheus had been turned black, but then turned red, and gained a bit of more, I guess, goofy personality, and completely just being scorching Big Mom. Luffy then held out Nami's contact, and Zeus was shot out, but Luffy just took over Zeus as well. Then put the Prometheus and Zeus on one creature, putting them back in Nami's contact. So yeah, Big Mom can get Zeus and Prometheus back, or Sumetheus, that's kind of what they are now, because Luffy combined them both. But it would be really hard, because they're now combined into one creature under a devil fruit user who no longer exists. Like, Luffy doesn't have this whole soul fruit anymore, but they're still under Luffy's influence. Or mainly Luffy and Nami, but, yeah. Brook and Chopper are in the force against him. Most Big Mom's, a lot of Big Mom's kids defeated are dead. When they arrived, Big Mom had 85 kids. When they left, Big Mom now has roughly 70 kids. So yeah, and Luffy had beaten Katakuri at the same time he beat Big Mom. So, or roughed her up. She wasn't beaten, but she's pretty tired. So is Luffy. But Luffy's bounty with him, he's successfully executing his plan of defeating Big Mom and killing a lot of her kids. He has a bounty of now 2.8 billion. He killed 15 Big Mom's kids that are decently ranked in her crew, and then roughed up and stole her two most powerful homies. What do you expect him to get? 1.5 again? No, 2.5 billion. 2.8 billion, I mean. Nami possessing these 2 most powerful homies now, it's a bounty of going from 66 million. I'd now put her at roughly about 180 million. And Chopper goes to about 1,000. And she's probably higher than that, because he fought a few of her kids on the way in. He got past them, so did Brook. Chopper's bounty is roughly about 40,000 now. I'll give him that. And Brook is about, I would say, 230 million there. With this, they now head to Wano a bit early, and they arrive. Well, they don't arrive being shipwrecked; they arrive normally. So yeah, they ran out with a decent amount of Straw Hats. First, Luffy had found Robin easily, kind of rented out a geisha, and then they talking to Robin in private. Robin told Luffy they have to do something in here before the woman gets suspicious, which leads to Luffy having his first kiss with Robin. But he didn't really care too much. But yeah. But when he leaves and says he wants to do something here, as he wasn't given a role. But he does play smart, due to that, having high street smarts. Or could he flex his street smarts other than kill Shiro in the Yakuza? So yeah. And his power quickly put him through the ranks as he joined as Kyosho's right-hand man now. So in the meantime, Nami began training Zumetheus, as it basically has sunstorms and lightning storms. Sunstorms are basically which is a storm cloud, but it's a red storm cloud that shoots down fireballs, and that are infused with lightning. Those are sunstorms. So yeah. But eventually we go into basically where Hiyori would originally die, but Luffy had to block the attack. As soon as Orochi ordered Hiyori's execution. Luffy blocked Kyosho's attack, and he's wondering what Luffy's doing. Like, sorry, but I believe cutting down dumb women is wrong, no matter who orders it. But all of the guards that Orochi had, Luffy just smirked. Suddenly his tongue jutted out super fast, took down all of the guards in a split second. And Luffy then made into Gomu abilities at the same time, easily defeating Koshiro. And he leaves with Robin and Hiyori in tow. And Brook with him as well, because Brook was there. But eventually, they do kind of reunite at Kozuki Castle. Luffy kind of guessed that they'd arrive here, as it was already on their radar, as he pointed that out. So they hide somewhere. And that's basically unknown to everyone else. Luffy started to have another idea, as Law pointed out that Kid was in Udon Prison. So Luffy's looking at Udon Prison at night, and was actually able to find Kawamatsu. As Kinemon did describe what Kawamatsu looked like. Luffy broke into Udon Prison, broke out Kid and Kawamatsu, and basically anyone that was benefiting the Alliance. Luffy just destroyed Udon Prison as a whole. He just killed a few guards in their sleep, beat them up in their sleep to the point where they're not able to move anymore. Then until a mass breakout, and every single prisoner escaped and joined the Alliance if Luffy told them to. So yeah, now the Yakuza can open up their gates for some members of the Alliance, and shots all train to the maximum ability. Eventually, we do go into the whole Onigashima raid, but I don't see this arc being much different. Like the main difference I see is that when Momonosuke is about to be killed by, or not killed, but the Momonosuke is about to be attacked by King, or Momonosuke and Shinobu are about to be attacked by King. Luffy saw this coming, so he immediately just appeared right behind them, grabbing King by the face, and then holding onto him for a bit and crushing it, then throwing him. But suddenly he turned into Pteranodon, picking up Queen, and kind of digging his talons into his shoulder, and then turning in basically just a Brachiosaur, chameleon, a pterodactyl thing hybrid. And with this, he immediately bit down on Kaido's arm and threw him to the air, and grabbed Kaido and held him in place. He kind of just went gear third and held him down. Kaido was actually able to somewhat push off Luffy, but when they know to Kaido that Luffy's goal isn't to hold him down, that's a diversion. Luffy then used an extra smack Big Mom around, then held her down, and immediately copied her ability too. Luffy's now 5 Devil Fruits, but he can control these 5 Devil Fruits. Basically being King, Queen, Big Mom, Kaido, and Shinobu. So if you can turn into this dragon, pterodactyl, brachiosaur, soul-wielding, aging thing. And he just fight Kaido. He fought Kaido in the middle of Onigashima, and with all these things in tandem, he beats Kaido in front of his whole crew. With his Haki, the same level of Haki that he has in the middle of the fight. He had a little more armor Haki training with Rayleigh, so Conqueror's Haki coding is something that he already that he learned previous to this whole Onigashima raid. And he recently instead of learning Ryo properly, he recently properly learned Future Sight because he didn't have as much observation training. So yeah, but he easily beat Kaido in front of his whole crew, as he had Kaido's fruit itself. So yeah. But since Luffy's close awakening his fruit, he reached Kaido's tier power with Kaido's own fruit. He can reach everyone's tier of their power with their own fruit in his own body. That's his own awakening, which turned him into a completely white dragon, Pteranodon, Brachiosaur, whatever King's animal is. I don't know what animal it is. But yeah. So King's defeated by Luffy, so is Queen, so is Big Mom, so is Kaido. Right, Luffy took down the biggest fighters of this time. But Big Mom and Kaido both get back up, wanting to run the runs again. Luffy to beat Kaido up and telling Big Mom she can fight someone else. He already beat her twice now. These counts will happen on Whole Cake, his victory. So this Law and Kid fight Big Mom for the ones, but she's already weakened and she's beaten up. And Luffy still using what little bit power he has left for his Devil Fruits. He beats up a lot of the lot of the alliance members. It's not like his own alliance, like Big Mom Kaido's alliance. But yeah, this is a pretty big success considering how strong Luffy is with these so many fruits combined. So yeah. But then CP0 pointed out where CP0 was, and then everyone just defeats CP0. But with Luffy's bounty, because he defeated Kaido 1-on-1, but also King, Queen, and Big Mom again, his bounty is raised to roughly about the same as Kaido's, even probably bigger than that, around 4.8 billion. So Luffy currently has the highest active bounty now, after owning Shima, 4.8 billion, highest active bounty. Maybe besides Dragon, but second highest active bounty. But I see the next arc being Elbaf, which honestly I think of as more like a training and reuniting arc for Luffy and Shanks, but also for the Shrek crew to train. Well, reuniting for Usopp, Luffy, for Usopp and Yasop, and Luffy and Shanks, then a training arc for Luffy to master Gear 5th. Then the next arc is probably to me Paradise, where they fight Moria again. Moria stronger with more zombies, but also so many allies of Blackbeard to the point where it's annoying. They beat them all up, interrogate Moria. And next up is their sail all the way over to, well, 1, Vera. After that, they then head to Lodestar, via direction from Blackbeard. There they find out a note from Blackbeard, wanting them to basically head to where the One Piece is, saying that they're on route there right now, and that they should arrive there at the same time as well as his own crew. That Luffy had his alliance arrive via like Cavendish, Bartolomeo, Hydrodine. They all arrive. And now they're ready for the ones. This is kind of the last pirate arc of the story, where they basically fight against Blackbeard's alliance with their own, and they win. But this next arc is probably Marie-Joie, where Sabo is quote-unquote dead, or I assume quote-unquote dead. For me, in this what if he's not dead, but he's held captive. But they easily raid Marie-Joie, where it's not much of an arc, really. None was this. Luffy knew a lot, basically just a lot of people who those fruits, and was able to use them pretty proficiently, so... Once Luffy copies your fruit, it's not really wise to fight him once he has it. But yeah, Marie-Joie is raided. Luffy copied Fujitori's fruit, beat Green Bull with Fujitori's fruit, copied Green Bull's fruit, and beat Fujitora with that fruit. Then once he had these two fruits in tandem, he had basically fought Kizaru with it. And in the meantime, Zoro and Sanji both combined easily beat Kizaru. But then Luffy fought Aki Inu using all the Admiral's fruits combined, and easily beat Aki Inu with it. So yeah. Then once all was left was just Sengoku, and he copies Sengoku pretty easily. Then just fights Garp and Sengoku with these fruits. He doesn't kill them, but he beats them both. And Sabo's freed. So's Vivi. And yeah, it's kind of just what happens. Luffy just after Onigashima, he one-tapped basically anyone he came across with their own fruits. So yeah. Always enjoy this what if. Like, subscribe for more. The next what if, you guys heard them at the beginning. Bye.